זוכר את התמונה הזאת?
זה תמונה שלי. אז את עושה את המגזין הזה.
כן.
מה כותב הכותרת?
נשים ואינתיפאדה. והנה השם שלך.
טוב.
מה אתה כבר אתה
כן, כן, זה
לא הכל עבודה.
אז זה מצפן, 30 שנה.
וזה צילום שלך.
כן, צילום שלי. כבוד, לא?
כן, כבוד.
גם אני זוכר, כן.
הנה, כאן
דיין.
צריך להיות שלמה זון.
שלמה?
כאן.
שלמה.
הנה שלמה.
השלום הוא נתפס, נכון?
כן.
בנצרת.
נצרת, כן.
כן.
קראת הסוף. You want to know how I entered Matzpen? It's a long story. It begins when I was born. No, but because it's very difficult for me to say to see a point where here I changed and became this and that. But if I have to find not to make 1 hour story about. So I think it was in the army, when I was in the army, and I was during the time of the war of attrition, the war that was in the Sinai in 68, 69, 70. Atasha. That was the name of the war that was between Israel and Egypt in 69, 70. You were here on the Suez Canal, bombing both.
Yes.
And
You were on the front.
I was on the front. And gradually I discovered that we did one thing on the front, and we heard something else on the radio. So I start understanding that our spokesmen were telling lies.
For instance?
For instance, we were starting the fight. I know who started because we had plans the day before, and the general would come and would say, "I want you to do this and that tomorrow." And tomorrow there was a fight, and in the evening we hear in the radio that the Egyptians started fire and our forces answered and so on. And I said, "What answered? We started. I know exactly." So I discovered that slowly that we are telling, the Israeli side is telling lies, which was for me because the stereotype was that Arabs are telling lies and we are always telling the truth.
Yeah.
So then I discovered, we are telling lies, and gradually I started not believing anything they say. It was a distraction of the opportunity for peace, and I was sure at that time that this time I'm sure that it was the Israeli side that was responsible because the Egyptian side offered everything that I believed Israel wanted before. But Israel didn't want to move to get away from Sinai. So the Israeli answer was no, and at that time that was the first time that I was convinced that Israel doesn't want peace. And then I started questioning myself and reading about history. I said, if now they don't want peace, maybe even before they didn't want peace.
What was your age at that time?
I was 21. And what I knew, I started rereading history. And I discovered that it was not the first time in 71 that Israel was against peace, but that it was before. So when I get out of the army, when I was released from the army, I moved very quickly to the left.
Can you back to the 67 war? At that time, what?
At that time, I was 17 years old. I was right wing. I was very happy with the war, with the achievements, with the liberating the territory. For me, it was at that time liberation of territories.
בזמן של מלחמת ששת הימים.
67.
כן, מה את הרגשת?
67. אני לא אהבתי מה שקורה.
באיזה גיל היית?
הייתי נולדתי ב-51, אז בת כמה הייתי? 16. 16. זה לא כל כך כי ידעתי למה שזה רע. זה יותר כי יותר מדי שמחו מסביב.
שמחו, כן.
כן.
הרגשתי,
הרגשתי לא כל כך נוח, לא כל כך טוב עם זה. לא ידעתי עוד למה. לקח לי שנה בערך. לקרוא קצת, לחפש.
בעצמי.
לבד. ואת מצפן הכרתי ב-68.
יותר מוקדם לי.
כן,
אני הבאתי אותו למצפן. מה שחיפשתי, אבל אחר כך עשיתי הפסקה כי הלכתי לצבא. הייתי בטוחה שלא ייקחו אותי לצבא, כי אני במצפן, ואני אמרתי שאני במצפן, ולקחו.
ולאן את הלכת? לאן את הלכת?
לאן?
לא, שטח.
אני הייתי אלחוטנית מורס.
מה זה?
מורס.
רדיו מורס.
רדיו מורס. סודה של כל אחד.
כן, כן.
סבבה, את שולחת.
עד שגילו את זה.
עד שהם גילו שאני לקח להם, הקורס היה 4 חודשים, הייתי שם 4 חודשים, ואחר כך גילו פתאום שאסור לי להיות שם, תוך יום הייתי צריכה לעבור.
כן, גילו.
וכשיצאתי מהצבא, עוד פעם חזרתי למצפן.
כן, הפעם היחידה שאני קיבלתי מכות, the only time that I was, זה חילקנו קרוז, אין אלוהים, בתל אביב.
זה מגיע.
מצפן ואין אלוהים, זה קיבלתי מכות. מבית ספר, ילדים בבית ספר. זה היה הפעם היחידה שאני זוכר. היו רגעים על יד, אבל הפעם ממש זה...
יכול לנגוע לראש ממשלה...
כן, הציונות, הכל, אלוהים תעזוב, את זה תעזוב. The positive side, that's why we are mixed feelings, is first of all, it's good that Rabin and Arafat are shaking hands. Because for the Israeli population, it says one thing, oh, look, the PLO is not Satan, is not something, so on, look, we can work together. The same, if Rabin and Arafat can work together, then why couldn't we, well, the left, the Israelis on the left and the Palestinians on the left, we also can work together. So it opens for us a new era in which inside the Israeli population, it's the idea of Israelis and Palestinians working together is natural. If Rabin and Arafat works together, we can also work together. So all this idea about we don't want any connection with Palestinians, we want to split, to have them, to make an apartheid, like to depart from each other and to make fences and so on. Now it's, well, if they can be friends, why not we? So this is why it's mixed, because I can see all the negative parts of the agreement, all the holes, all the, let's say, and what was really surprising for me, that's for sure, is that the PLO agreed to such an agreement that, let's say, 10 years ago, I wouldn't believe the PLO would agree to such. For me, it's kind of like they lost almost everything, and they didn't gain almost anything. 10 years ago, it was unthinkable. 5 years ago, it was unthinkable. Even a year ago, it was unthinkable to believe that the PLO would agree to receive nothing, almost nothing. Not even an acknowledgement of the Israelis that there is an occupation. In all the agreement, the word occupation does not exist. And for us, that let's say since 67, our fight, well, our slogan was down with the occupation. So we say, okay, people can be happy, but occupation exists still. And
דרך שלך זה כמעט אותו דבר.
זה פחות או יותר דומה, אני רוצה לדבר על ההרגשה האישית שלי. זאת אומרת, לא ארגון עליי. כשאני שמעתי בפעם הראשונה על ההסכם, נורא כעסתי. אמרתי, מה זה הבנטוסטן שעושים? אבל אחר כך, כשראיתי את השידור, זאת אומרת, כשראיתי את השידור בטלוויזיה, נורא שמחתי. היינו בעבודה, היינו כל מיני אנשים, והרגשתי, הייתי נורא שמחה. זה אותו דבר, זאת אומרת, מה שחשוב, ההסכם הוא לא טוב. אבל זה עשה משהו בחברה, גם הישראלית וגם הפלסטינית, שמכאן אפשר להתקדם הלאה אולי. אני אופטימיסטית, אז בגלל זה אני שמחה. יש דברים שאי אפשר לדבר עליהם, כי יש כיבוש, כי אין מדינה, אולי עכשיו אפשר יהיה לדבר עליהם. וזה נורא חשוב, זה נורא חשוב לדבר על זכויות, לדבר על זכויות של פלסטינים בישראל, לדבר על זכות השיבה, אולי. לדבר על זכויות של נשים. דברים שכל הזמן אמרו, אי אפשר לדבר עליהם. אז הדבר הזה הוא חשוב. אפילו שההסכם הוא לא טוב. זה שני הדברים ביחד. ובגלל זה גם הייתי שמחה, זאת אומרת, בהתחלה נורא כעסתי, אבל אחר כך הייתי שמחה.
עכשיו, the problem is that, well, not the problem, the fact is that the fact that the PLO had to accept such an agreement, which is bad for the Palestinian people. Now, after all, what rights do they receive from all this? So the fact that they had to sign such an agreement is proof of all the mistakes they did before. All the mistakes that we were criticizing before led them to such a...
but not only Palestinian side, in Israel side, more mistakes, yes?
Well, Israeli side, I don't expect anything from them. Of course they do. Well, okay, but they won. In some way they won. They had, in our opinion, they had Palestinian recognition, not on Israel per se. They had the recognition of Zionism. So there is no the agreement has conditions, but the conditions are only on the Palestinian side. Only they have conditions. Israel has no condition. Israel can go on being Zionist, can go on oppressing Arabs inside its own population, can go on do everything. There is no condition on the Israeli side. All the conditions are on the Palestinians. They should be good boys for 5 years. They should be... Israelis can do anything. In the agreement, Israelis can do anything. Palestinians should be good children. If not, something will happen. Palestinians, all the conditions are on the Palestinians. So, but the fact is that PLO reached such a point where they had to sign this agreement. It's because all the mistakes they did before, because the struggle that we had criticized along the years, we said this is not the way. If you want what you want, this is not the way to achieve it. People, what hope do they have now? Nobody wants to think about them. They are talking about the refugees of 67, maybe to let them come back to the West Bank. But what about the refugees of 48? Those people who are
Nobody is talking
talking about them.